and wondered why so many people smart, capable, hardworking people stay broke, stuck, and miserable their entire lives? Why is it that, despite living in a time of unlimited opportunity, the majority still struggle paycheck to paycheck, feel trapped in unfulfilling routines, and silently question if life ever gets better? Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not luck, it's not fate, and it's certainly not a lack of potential. It's patterns. It's mindset. And it's choices repeated, unchecked, and often inherited. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on why most people never break free from this invisible prison. And if you stick with me until the end, you'll walk away with clarity, insight, and perhaps the wake-up call you've been needing. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about comfort. Most people stay broke, not because they want to suffer, but because they fear discomfort more than they desire freedom. Growth demands pain. It requires long nights, early mornings, rejection, failure, risk, and discipline. It asks you to leave behind everything familiar, walk into the unknown with faith. But comfort? It's warm, it's easy, it's predictable, and it's deadly. See, when you're too comfortable, you stop reaching, you stop stretching, you settle. You learn to make peace with mediocrity because it's not that bad. But not that bad is a trap. It's the slow, silent killer of dreams. Over time, comfort leads to complacency, and complacency guarantees stagnation. Now let's address the mindset of limitation. Most people were never taught how powerful they really are. Instead, they were raised in environments where survival was the goal, not success. They were told to play it safe, to not ask for too much, to just get a good job and be thankful. And so, they internalized this idea. Who am I to dream big? People like me don't get rich. This is just how life is. And here's the kicker. The mind will always find a way to prove itself right. If you believe you're stuck, you'll act stuck. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll sabotage yourself every time you start to rise. The cycle becomes self-fulfilling. The solution? Awareness. You can't escape a prison you don't even realize you're in. Let's talk about money, why people stay broke. It's not just a lack of money, it's a lack of financial education. School taught us to memorize facts, pass exams, and follow rules. But it didn't teach us how money works. It didn't teach us how to budget, invest, build wealth, or understand compound interest. So people go into the world with no tools and wonder why they can't build. They chase higher salaries, but never change their habits. They inflate their lifestyle every time they get a raise. They fall into debt traps, pay interest instead of earning it, and confuse looking rich with being wealthy. But the truth is, becoming financially free has less to do with how much you make and everything to do with how you think. Save, invest, and delay gratification, which leads us to the next point: short-term thinking. Most people want fast results. They want the six-pack without the sweat, the success without the struggle, the payday without the process. They've been conditioned by social media, advertising, and the instant gratification culture to expect quick wins. But anything that lasts, wealth, health, purpose, peace, takes time. Real growth is boring. It's repetition. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. The reason most people stay stuck is because they give up too soon. They quit at 40% and call it failure. But they were just 3 feet from gold. Let's be honest, distraction is another silent killer. In a world full of constant notifications, viral trends, and endless entertainment, focus has become a superpower. Most people are drowning in information, but starving for wisdom. They scroll for hours, compare their lives to strangers online, and lose sight of their own path. They confuse activity with progress. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. True growth comes from deep work and uninterrupted focus on the things that actually matter. Now, let's talk about environment. You can't plant seeds in toxic soil and expect a harvest. Many people stay miserable simply because they are surrounded by small-minded, negative, energy-draining people who constantly reinforce their limitations. Think about it. If everyone around you settles, complains, and doubts, how likely are you to rise? You become who you spend time with. Your standards, beliefs, and habits are shaped by your circle. And if your circle doesn't challenge you, inspire you, or elevate you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. Sometimes the key to your breakthrough isn't working harder. It's changing who you listen to, who you learn from, and who you allow into your space. Next up, victim mentality. It's easier to blame than to build. Easier to say I can't because of my past than to admit I haven't tried hard enough yet. But here's the truth. As long as your excuses are bigger than your efforts, you'll stay stuck. Life isn't fair. Some people are born with more. Others face more struggle. But the moment you take radical responsibility for your life, everything changes. You may not be responsible for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. And what you do next defines your future. Let's now address something most people never confront: lack of purpose. When you don't know why you're here, everything feels heavy. Work becomes a burden. Days blur together. You wake up, go through the motions, and wonder if this is all there is. Without purpose, success feels hollow. Without purpose, struggle feels unbearable. But when you discover your why, when you find something worth fighting for, everything changes. Purpose turns pain into fuel. It gives you direction, energy, and meaning. So if you're stuck, broke, or miserable, maybe it's not about working harder. Maybe it's about asking better questions. What am I here for? What am I running from? What am I willing to sacrifice comfort for? Finally, let's bring it all together with this truth. Most people stay stuck because they never make a real decision to change. Not a wish, not a New Year's resolution, a decision. A line in the sand moment where they say, enough is enough. I'm done playing small. I will rise no matter what it takes. You see, transformation begins when excuses end. When you stop blaming, stop waiting, stop hoping, and start doing. That's when the shift begins. Because here's the truth most people never hear. You are not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of your story. And the moment you decide to rewrite that story, your entire reality begins to shift. So, if you're watching this and you're tired of feeling like life is passing you by, tired of being stuck in cycles that never change, know this. Your breakthrough doesn't need permission. It needs action. Start small. Read the book. Wake up earlier. Save 10%. Call the mentor. Change your circle. Take the risk. Build the habit. Choose growth even when it hurts. And when it gets hard, keep going. Because you weren't born to stay stuck. You were born to rise.